Gigi Variety reading FoodWISE, continuing with FoodWISE choosing experience. Some processed foods are going to contain fats that we want to stay away from, namely artificial trans fats. The amount of trans fats should be indicated on the label, although I've already mentioned how quote unquote zero trans fats can be misleading. Federal guidelines allow for a quote unquote zero reading with less than a half gram present per serving, but packaged processed foods easily can contain more than one serving. And what foods might these be? These can include commercial pastries and other baked goods, potato chips, fried foods, as well as frozen pizza and frozen pies. Avoiding deep fried foods like donuts is a good idea. Be careful of margarine too. The more solid it is at room temperature, the more likely it is to have higher trans fat content. Note, a number of fast food companies claim to no longer use trans fats in cooking many of their menu items. All good information. And tonight, the article is on Cornell. I wrote about Cornell early on in lockdown, fairly early on, when the institution was making the decision to come back to school in the fall. And they have basically a handful of cases compared to other institutions, academic institutions. And why is that? President and provost say that it is because of science. So they took a very scientific approach, determined that students were safer in Ithaca, New York than they were anywhere else. They also have a lot of resources for testing, and they admit that this could be part of what contributes to their success, and other institutions may not be able to duplicate this. But they have their own testing facilities, and they are able to perform tens of thousands of tests. So the amount of testing, the behavioral monitoring, kind of the social contract in that sense, there is extreme. And it seems to be working.